tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, good morning everyone. Today we are going to start a new lesson. Since we have finished the 𝐥𝐴 lesson, we did it quite extensively, and we are now moving into a new chapter, new topic, new part about 𝐸𝐴𝐻. 𝐸𝐴𝐻 are because basically there are 4 causes for the arising of Rūpa according to Theravada. First is the karma. Matter is produced by karma, some matter. Then some matter are produced by chitta or the mentalities, collectively by the mentalities, chitta and cetasikas. And then some matter is produced by the tejo dhatu in the rupa kalapas, and some matter is produced by the oja, the nutriment factor nutriment element. So among them we have already discussed about kammaja rūpas and chittaja rūpas, that is to say the matter born out of karma and matter born out of mind. And today we are going to start our sessions about the matter produced by tejo dhatu, which is called utu, tejo dhatu, which is called utu. So the matter produced by tejo dhatu, which is called utu, is called utuja rūpas. So tejo dhatu is utu. Matter is produced by this tejo dhatu, so we call them utuja rūpas. We don't call tejo dhatuja rūpas. You can call like that, tejo dhatuja or tejo tejaja rūpa. You can call. We can create a compound, construct a name, but that's not usually heard of. And so utuja rūpas are the matter. Now utuja rūpas are, now first we need to find out what is utu. Utu is the tejo dhatu. We talked about in detail in previous lectures, few years back actually. So now according to Theravada, utu or tejo dhatu is responsible for the arising of the entire world, like matter world, especially the inanimate world. Even animate world is highly affected by this tejo dhatu. So most of the matter in the world are productions of tejo dhatu according to Theravada tradition. Not only for their origination, but also for their decaying and finally for their destruction. Tejo dhatu plays a huge role. When we talk about the entire world, it origins at a certain time, and in the end it gets destroyed. So in both the occasions, in phenomena, tejo dhatu plays a huge role. So because of that, because it is involved in the production, origin, and also in the destruction of the world, it is called utu. The term utu is given. Utu signifies something that is related or something that is influencing the material world. So I shall read the handout about utu. In this lesson we shall study the third type of Rūpa, utuja rūpas, heat born matter or temperature born matter, as some scholars translate. They are clusters and lineage of those clusters. For that we need to study about utu as well. So we are going to study about utu, their clusters and lineage of those clusters. That is utuja santatiya. According to Theravada, utu means the tejo dhatu. Tejo dhatu is called utu as it generates and sustains the threefold world, especially not for the destruction but sustaining and generating the world, right? Threefold world: okasa loka, satta loka, and sankhara loka. We have 3 types of loka: okasa loka, satta loka, and sankhara loka. Okasa loka is the world in which we live, the earth, the sky and so forth, the mountains, and Sattva-loka are the living beings, Nama Rupa generations which we designate as living beings. Sankhara-loka are the elements with which these beings and the things are constituted. So we will first have a look at them. Under these contents, Okasa-loka means the countless world systems in which we are living. Sattva-loka means the bodies of living beings, okay. Sankhara-loka means the natural inanimate objects such as trees, rocks, mountains, rivers, seas, fire, etc. and manufactured objects such as houses, clothes, furniture. So in this regard, Sankhara-loka means inanimate stuff. Sattva-loka is the animate stuff, animate bodies. Sankhara-loka inanimate stuff. Okasa-loka are where these Sattva-loka and Sankhara-loka is located. We can call the location of those Sankhara. But there are different meanings, different classifications of these three terms. But in this regard, according to Paramattha Dipani, this is the place where we exist. These are the bodies in terms of matter, bodies of animate beings, and these are the bodies of inanimate things. We have different explanations in different places. As Theravadins advocate, the fundamental cause for the arising of all these physical objects is the Tejo Dhatu. So it is the we call the fundamental cause for the arising of all these objects. Because even in the animate bodies, we find matter born out of karma and matter born out of consciousness and nutriment. They are very less in amount. That's why even when a person dies, you cannot still see the difference in the body. So it means like the majority of the body is constituted with Tejo Dhatu, Utuja Rupas. So Paramattha Dipani suggests that this is the fundamental cause for the arising of all matter. Then it means the majority of the matter is produced by Tejo Dhatu. And even Kammaja, Utuja and Chittaja Rupas sustain means exist or endure, because only with the support of Utuja Rupas. Kammaja, Chittaja and Aharja Rupas mainly exist based on the having the support of Utuja Rupas. All these objects endure under suitable environmental conditions and temperatures. So the contribution of Tejo Dhatu for their longevity must be understood. So in all these things last long, endure for a longer period under suitable environmental conditions and temperatures. So it shows that Tejo Dhatu plays a huge role. That's how we normally explain about this. So scientifically speaking, people have a different viewpoint on this. Sometimes they may be able to relate it to some type of this kind of phenomena, but normally heat is the motion of molecules according to science. It's the motion of molecules. It's the average motion of molecules, kinetic energy of molecules. So it's something quite different from the Theravada perspective. Anyway, Utu, according to Theravada, not only contributes the arising and long lasting of the material bodies, but also for the destruction. So it causes for the destruction as well. This Utu is a cause for the destruction as well. Rotting of organic items under unsuitable temperatures. Organic items do rot when they are kept under unsuitable conditions, and also when they are after some time they naturally get rot. And burning of matter under high temperatures are the examples of Tejo Dhatu's contribution to the destruction of the physical world. Tejo Dhatu plays a huge role not only in originating the world, but also in their destruction. So when very high temperatures are given, things get burned out, and things get burnt, and under unsuitable weather conditions, the temperatures, the organic stuff rots. That's also very Now, if you keep it in a refrigerator or a deep environment, we may be able to maintain some, keep them for some time. But under suitable, under other conditions, temperature conditions, normally they get rot. So it also shows there is some kind of a relationship between Tejo Dhatu and the existence of things. According to the 𝐓𝐴𝐷𝐼𝐓 Sutta, the world will burn and get destroyed at the end of this great eon due to the heat of 6 new suns that will arise in addition to the present sun. So, in addition to the present sun, the six new suns will come up according to 𝐓𝐴𝐷𝐼𝐓 Sutta, and they will heat up the entire world, and then eventually the world starts to burn out. So, this is done by Tejo Dhatu. So, according to 𝐓𝐴𝐷𝐼𝐓 Sutta, the world gets destroyed due to heat. This eon is supposed to get destroyed due to heat. According to the Theravada tradition, once in every 8 eons, great eons, the world will get destroyed due to water, which is called an acidic water. Then in another once in 64 years, it will get destroyed due to wind. So that is how it is being explained in the texts. So as mentioned in the commentaries, the world will get destroyed due to basic water, not acidic. Opposite of basic, opposite of acidic is basic, right? Basic water once in 8 Mahakappas. Once in every 64 eons, the world will get destroyed due to the wind. So, and how is Tejo contributing to this? Because for the falling of basic water, the mechanism is a little bit different, because normally according to the tradition, the world system, the way the world is world is located, or the cosmology is quite a bit different from what we know today, and so a basic water starts to rain, and eventually it will completely dilute the entire world. That's what is happening. Normally it's coming, as if my memory was correct, it's coming from the water that is the basis of the earth, on which the earth is floating. So then with regard to wind, the air which is beneath the water is getting sort of coming into an instability and completely destroys the entire place. So the destruction done by air is more severe and more vigorous, like more severe. So the destruction happens till the it includes even the third Brahma realm. So as every inanimate thing, so for these destructions, temperature, according to our understanding, temperature plays a huge role. So not only when the world is destroying due to fire, but also when it gets destroyed due to air and water, still Tejo Dhatu has some contribution in it. As every inanimate thing originates due to Tejo Dhatu, even during the destruction of the world due to water and wind, the Tejo Dhatu is related. Moreover, the temperature or the warmth of the world heavily contributes to the raining of basic water and blowing of great winds. Right? That's also understandable. Then Tejo Dhatu is twofold, as Unna Tejo and Sita Tejo. It's twofold, as the cold, Sita Tejo is the coldness, Unna Tejo is the heat. Right? Regarding the world destructions, normally the wind, the process is mentioned, like the small wind starts to arise, but I have a memory, because I didn't read it recently actually, because Earth is located on a certain water, and it's located on air, and a beam of air, and this beam of air gets activated as far as I remember. So somehow the wind, so inside also the wind is affecting, and then eventually it destroys the entire world. It breaks, like completely, the wind crushes the world and destroys it. That's how it has been explained. We will be talking about that in in another few lectures, because I will be giving attention on how the Utuja Rupas are related to the origin and the creation of the world and the destruction of world. We are going to talk a special lecture on that. So in that lecture I will be explaining what is the mechanism. Actually I've forgotten the nitty-gritties of that story. So Tejo Dhatu is twofold as Unna Tejo and Sita Tejo, heat and coldness. Tejo Dhatu, with this there is an opinion on this. Sometimes some teachers may think that Sita Tejo is less of Unna Tejo. So because coldness is less heat, you can argue in the negative sense. So less molecular motion would result in coldness, as science would say. So, but in Theravada, in some traditions, some teachers still argue that coldness is the less of heat, but some teachers believe there are two types of heats, Tejo Dhatus, that is coldness and the heat. Tejo Dhatu, which is also called the Utu, is mainly twofold, and altogether it is fivefold. So this Tejo Dhatu is fivefold based on the kalapas they are located in. Utu is the Tejo Dhatu, and Tejo Dhatu doesn't exist in the outer space as a single element. It cannot exist independently according to Theravada teachings, because always rupas arise in clusters. So Tejo Dhatu is found inside a cluster of a kalapa. So based on the kalapa in which it is located, Tejo Dhatu is fivefold. Mainly Tejo Dhatu in animate bodies and inanimate bodies. Inanimate bodies have kalapas and they contain Tejo Dhatu. So this is one type of Tejo Dhatu. Then animate bodies have four types of kalapas. Kammaja, kalapas born out of kamma. Chittaja, born out of chitta. Utuja, kalapas born out of Tejo Dhatu, also contains Tejo Dhatu. Then Aharaja. They also contain all the kalapas. This is because Tejo Dhatu is a fundamental reality in matter kalapas. There is no kalapa without Tejo Dhatu. So Tejo Dhatu is found in all these four types of kalapas, and also in the kalapas in inanimate bodies. So altogether we have five types of Tejo, that is based on its location, where it is found, in which kalapas it is found. So Tejo is found in animate bodies, Tejo Dhatu found in Kammaja kalapas, Chittaja kalapas, Utuja kalapas of the animate bodies, and also Aharaja kalapas. Then Tejo Dhatu found in inanimate bodies as the fifth classification. So this is the Tejo Dhatu. I think we did a very detailed explanation on Tejo Dhatu a few years back when we were explaining the four great elements. So if someone is interested, you'll be able to go back to the lectures and can have a detailed exposition on Tejo Dhatu. I was talking in detail how this is acting and so forth with regard to all the four great elements. Then Utuja Rupas. Now the Tejo Dhatu in a kalapa which contains Tejo Dhatu, for example, if this is Tejo Dhatu, would create, when it comes to the persisting phase, it arises, Rūpa arises, Rūpa arises, then it persists for some time, exists for some time, and passes away. This is the procedure. So in this procedure, as soon as it comes to the persisting phase, Titikala, this is Upada, Titi, and Banga. So as soon as it comes to the Titikala, persisting phase, this Tejo Dhatu produces another kalapa. And this kalapa is what we call Utuja Rūpa. So this Tejo Dhatu is Utu. This kalapa could be any of the five that we discussed. So they can be any of the 5 types of kalapas. Kalapas in inanimate bodies or kalapas in animate bodies made out of all 4 types of causes. So now any kalapa, any of these kalapas, so they contain Tejo Dhatu. That Tejo Dhatu, when the kalapa has come into this persisting phase, when the kalapa has come into the persisting phase, the entire rupas in the kalapa have come into the persisting phase. So when they have come into the persisting or titikala, existing, you can call it because existing, when we say existing, it also includes the Uppadakala and Bhangakala. So that's why I am using the persisting phase. It may not be a very accurate translation, but still we can use that, right? Still we can, because that is the persisting moment, how it endures, because it's going under the, it's going against the phenomenon of jara, decaying. So it's able to persist for some time. Still you can argue persisting phase starts from the moment of arising as well, but during that period it is in a stable, in the arising phase it's in a growth actually. Then the growth has stopped and it starts decaying during the persisting phase. It endures, but it's still in the decaying side, and finally at the Bhanga level it completely vanishes. So when during this persisting phase, Tejo Dhatu in this kalapa produces another cluster. So this also contains Patavi, Apo, Tejo, and it also contains Tejo Dhatu. So this entire cluster of kalapa rupas are called Utuja rupas. Utuja rupas. This is Utuja. Kalapa, but it is considered rupas, right? So Utu, this is Utu plus Ja. Ja is arisen out of Utu, out of Tejo Dhatu. The thing Rupa which has arisen out of Tejo Dhatu is called Utuja, are called Utuja Rupas. Matter that arises, Utuja Rupa, matter that arises due to Tejo Dhatu is called Utuja Rupas. Tejo Dhatu found in Rupa Kalapa, at its Titi moment, persisting phase, produces another Rupa Kalapa. All the rupas in that newly produced Kalapa are called Utuja Rupas. So all the rupas in that newly produced Kalapa are called Utuja Rupas. There are 15 Utuja Rupas. So there are 15. They are the 8 Avinibhoga Rupas. 8 Avinibhoga. What are the 8 Avinibhoga? Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Vanna, Kala, Gandha, Rasa and Oja. So these are the 8 Avinibhogas. So they are produced by all the 4 courses, if you remember. Saddha Rupa. Sometimes Saddha, sound, arises due to Tejo Dhatu. It also arises due to Chitta as well. But we didn't talk about this Saddha Rupa in the Chitta lesson. So we are going to talk about it in detail in the Utuja lesson. So we are going to discuss the various opinions on how the sound strikes on the eardo in Theravada teachings. Then Paricheda Rupa. Paricheda Rupa are the gap between the Tejo Utuja Kalapas. Paricheda Rupa, gap between Kalapas. Then the 3 Vikara Rupas. Rupasa Rahuta, Rupasa Muddha, Rupasa Kamanyata. 3. Lahuta, Muduta, Kamanyata. So these are 3. So altogether we have, so this is 8, 10, 13. Then we have to add another 2, Upachaya and Santati. Upachaya and Santati. So we get 15. 15. I think I haven't put those 2, I have mistaken. Please add Upachaya and Santati. You add Upachaya and Santati, then it becomes 15. Otherwise it's 13. We can also call it 13, that's fine. And Chitta Rupas are 15 actually. Utuja Rupas are 13. Yeah, you have to change the number 13 because we don't, in our lessons, I think I didn't take Upachaye Santati. I didn't take Upachaye Santati. So, in that regard, Utuja Rupas are 13. So, Utuja Kalapas. Similar to matter arising due to other causes, Utuja Rupas too arise in clusters. That is also a very basic fundamental in Theravada. Rupas do not arise independent of other Rupas. They arise always in communion or connection with other Rupas. But they are not Sampayutta. Sampayutta nature is found only in Nama Dhammas. Sampayuttas are the Chitta Chaitasikas, they each other get connected, and Chitta with Chaitasikas and Chaitasikas with Chittas. So that is the inseparably connected nature. So they also have objects. But Rupas do not take objects. They are Anaramana. But they are together. They are arising in a cluster. So any other Rupa, Rupas produced by Tejo Dhatu also arise in clusters. So those clusters of Rupas are called Utuja Kalapas. Utuja Kalapa. Utuja Kalapa are the cluster of such Rupas. So the cluster is given an additional name. But what exists are the Rupas. Rupas together. Similar to matter arising due to other causes, Utuja Rupas too arise in clusters. A cluster of Rupas that arise due to Tejo Dhatu and share the characteristics of 𝐴 and so on is called Utuja Kalapa. So we have 4 characteristics of Rupa Kalapas actually. They have the same arising, they share the same passing away, they have the same Nisaya, dependence. That are the 4 great elements. And then they exist together, Sahavutti, in the above said 3 factors, about 3 features arising together. They have the same arising. That's how we would, it's better translated. They have the same arising, they have the same vanishing, and they have the same dependence, Eka Nisaya, and Sahavutti. So the Rupa clusters that exist that have these 4 features are called Rupa. So Rupas produced by Tejo Dhatu and have these 4 features are called Utuja Kalapas. Tejo Dhatu, which causes the arising of Utuja Kalapas, is found in a different Kalapa. And Utuja Kalapa is not produced by Tejo Dhatu of the same Kalapa. Though Tejo Dhatu is found in this new Kalapa as well, this new Kalapa also contains Tejo Dhatu. Utu is found. Utu. This new Kalapa is not a production of the Utu or Tejo Dhatu in that same Kalapa. That's a very important fundamental. The producting Utu, the causal Utu, Tejo Dhatu, is found in other Kalapa. It's also a very important fundamental. When a certain Kalapa is produced by another factor, by one of the factors, the main factor should be something outside the Kalapa. So it's not that a Kalapa can arise mainly due to something integral. It's not that the entire, now if Tejo Dhatu in that same Kalapa is responsible for the production, this is called self-arising, because then Tejo Dhatu would also be causing its own arising. Because if the Tejo Dhatu is arising together with the Kalapa and producing that same entire Kalapa, Tejo Dhatu would be responsible for its own arising, or it will be causeless. It will be causeless. So therefore, this idea is also common for Aharja Rupas as well. Aharja Rupas are produced by Oja, but Aharja Kalapa is not produced by the Oja in that same Kalapa. It's a Oja found in a different Kalapa. In the same way, the Tejo Dhatu, the causal Tejo Dhatu, which is responsible for the arising of the Utuja Kalapas, is not found in that same Kalapa. It's found in different Kalapa. That is a very important fundamental that we have to keep in mind. Then but the Tejo Dhatu inside this Kalapa strengthens the remaining Rupas. That's a different case. It strengthens the remaining Rupas in that Kalapa. But it is not responsible for its, now it is responsible in terms of Sahajata Paccaya and Anyamanya Paccaya, but they are not the main cause. So main cause always has to be something outside the Kalapa. That's a must. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, even it is applicable for the Chittas, the mental cluster. The main cause of a mental cluster is the previous Chitta. It's true that the Chitta is forerunner in the mental cluster to the Chetasikas. Chetasikas would not have arisen if there was no Chitta. Yes, we see a prominence in the Chitta, but the entire cluster, the production of the entire cluster is attributed to the previous mental cluster. In the same way, in a group of realities that are arising, the main cause cannot be within that group, which is also arising together with the group. No, that's not possible in Theravada. So, in a group of co-arising cluster of realities, the main cause cannot be within the group. The main cause has to be something outside the group. Now, if you take the karma, kammaja rupas, karma is something different from the kammaja kalapas, something outside the kammaja kalapas we can call. And chittaja rupas, chitta is out of the kalapas of the chittaja kalapas. Utu, tejo dhatu, is located in a different rupa kalapa. Oja, which produces aharaja rupas, are located in a different kalapa. Mental clusters are produced by the previous mental cluster. So we can see the main cause is something outside the cluster. Something which is outside the cluster. Tejo dhatu, which causes the arising of Utuja Kalapas, is found in a different Kalapa. And Utuja Kalapa is not produced by the Tejo dhatu of the same Kalapa. That Kalapa could be a material cluster born out of Kamma, Chitta, Utu or Ahara. That's not an issue. As we said, this Kalapa could be one of the out of 5. It could be an animate, inanimate, in the animate bodies, could be Kammaja, Chittaja, Utuja or Ahara. Out of Kamma, Chitta, Utu or Ahara. Tejo dhatu in Chatusamuttanika Kalapas, all 4 types of Kalapas produced by 4 types of causes, having reached the state of Titi, produces another Kalapa. So all the Rupas, all the Kalapas, when they come at the persisting phase, they produce another Utuja Kalapa. But such generations like, now this also has a Utu, and this Utu will also produce another Utuja Kalapa. It also has a Utu, that will produce another Utuja Kalapa. So in this way, the lineage would have a limitation. One lineage doesn't have a limitation, that is Utupache Utu. We'll talk about those lineages next day. It will be a bit complicated lesson, but anyway, it's very useful to understand. But normally in general terms we say, Tejo dhatu in any Kalapa, having reached the persisting phase, the Titi phase, produces another Kalapa, Utuja Kalapa. In this lesson, the material cluster in which the causal Tejo dhatu is found is called the mother Kalapa. For this easiness, we may call now, if this is the Kalapa, it contains Tejo dhatu, and Tejo dhatu produces another Kalapa, which also has Tejo dhatu. So this causal Kalapa, Tejo, the Kalapa in which the Tejo was found, the causal Tejo was found, we call it mother Kalapa for the convenience of expressing the ideas. Mother Kalapa, and this would be Dota Kalapa. Dota Kalapa. Matru, Duhitru, in Sinhalese we call. So this is the mother Kalapa, Dota Kalapa, right? So in this lesson, the material cluster in which the causal Tejo dhatu is found is called the mother Kalapa, and the newly arisen Utuja Kalapa is designated as the Dota Kalapa. According to Theravada, the Dota Kalapa is not a transformed form of the mother Kalapa. So we should know that this is not, it's a very important thing. It's the Dota Kalapa is arising newly due to the mother Kalapa's Tejo. It's arising newly due to the mother Kalapa's Tejo. So it's arising newly. It is not Otherwise, some may get an idea, as in some doctrines, religious doctrines, this mother kalapa MK is a transformed form or a transformed state of the same mother kalapa. No. Daughter kalapa. No. This is not accepted in Theravada. It's not the same reality's new state or a transformed form. This is a new kalapa arising due to the mother. So, mother kalapa and the daughter kalapa exist together at the same time. That's the point here. So, mother kalapa produces daughter kalapa while it is still existing. It's like the mother giving birth to the daughter. Mother will still be living while the daughter is there. So it's not that the mother has transformed into the daughter. One may argue biologically the daughter is a byproduct of mother's body parts and father's body parts, whatever got into. But according to Theravada, this is a newly produced kalapa. It is not something which came out of this kalapa. It is not a transformed occasion or a form of this kalapa. It is a newly arisen kalapa. That is very important to understand. According to Theravada, daughter Uttuja kalapa is not a transformed form of the mother Uttuja kalapa. The arisen daughter kalapa is something that has newly arisen from the mother kalapa, having not existed before, due to. Rather than saying from, it is better to say due to the mother kalapa. Right? So, arisen from the mother kalapa having not existed before. It is daughter kalapa is something that has newly arisen due to the mother kalapa. It is better to change that word to due to, because otherwise some may think that it has come from the kalapa. No, it is arising due to the mother kalapa. According to Theravada, then the mother kalapa produces Uttuja Rupas when it has reached the persisting phase. The mother kalapa produces daughter kalapa when it has reached the persisting phase. When analyzing the information given under the existence of Rūpa, it seems that the mother kalapa produces the daughter kalapa as soon as it enters the Titi phase. One can argue, when is it, because the Titi phase is quite long in Theravada of a Rūpa kalapa. This has 49 sub-mind moments. So, when is it going to produce the kalapa? Seems like, I am not guaranteeing, because it seems like whenever it enters into the Titi, it will produce the Uttuja kalapa. It will produce the Uttuja kalapa as soon as it enters into this phase. Then it also a question arises, is it producing, how many kalapas does it produce? Does it produce many kalapas at the same time, or is it producing each kalapa at every sub-mind moment? So, if at least, now the question is, if in a given body of Rupas, if one kalapa is at least producing 2 kalapas, in no given time, the body has to be doubled in size. Technically, that should what happen. That's what should happen. In no given time, the entire body would double in size. So it means normally, it seems practically it has to be one Uttuja kalapa is producing, one tejo is producing, one tejo in a kalapa produces another one single Uttuja kalapa. It cannot be 2 actually. If it is, there can be some special cases in which many kalapas can be produced, but technically speaking it cannot be. Otherwise we would be seeing a complete different world, and there cannot be stable figures like this. So the exponential growth has to come, exponential growth. So when analyzing, it seems that the mother kalapa produces the daughter kalapa as soon as it enters its Titi phase. If that notion is taken accurate, then the mother kalapa produces the daughter kalapa when it is at its strongest moment, when as soon as it enters the Titi phase. Soon as it enters the Titi phase. It means the second sub-mind moment, because one sub-mind moment is used for the rising, one for the passing away, right? So the second sub-mind moment is producing the Uttuja kalapa. There are 4 types of Uttuja kalapas according to Theravada. 4 types of Uttuja kalapas. Uttuja Oja Attamaka kalapa. So we have out of the 15 Rupas, 13 Rupas actually. We have Oja Attamaka, Utuja Oja Attamaka. Oja Attamaka contains Avinibhoga Rupas. Avinibhoga are the Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Vanna, Gandha, Rasa and Oja. These are the 8 Avinibhoga. So there is a Utuja Kalapa which is constituted only with these 8 Rupas. Then Utuja Saddha Navaka Kalapa. We have another Kalapa, Utuja Saddha Navaka. Saddha Navaka means this has Oja Attamaka 8, Navaka is 9, so now 8 plus 1. So this 8 which we call Avinibhoga, plus Saddha, sound. So altogether we have 9 plus 1. Then we have another Kalapa, Utuja Lahutadi Ekadasaka Kalapa. Utuja Lahutadi Ekadasaka Kalapa. So this constitute Lahutadi Eka. Lahutadi means Rupasa Lahuta, Rupasa Muduta and Rupasa Kamanyata, 3 Rupas. So we have Avinibhoga 8, plus Lahuta, Muduta, Kamanya, 3. 8 plus 3, 11. This is 9. This is 8. Then we have another Utuja Saddha Lahutadi Dwadasaka. Dwadasaka is 12. That is 8, 1, 3. Because Saddha is there, Lahutadi 3 is there. So we have altogether 12 Rupas there. 8, 1, 3, 12. That is Avinibhoga, Saddha and the 3, Lahuta, Muduta, Kamanya, LMK. So these are the things. Utuja Oja Attama Kalapa, a material cluster constituted with 8 Avinibhoga Rupas that are produced by the Tejo Dhatu. Utuja Saddha Navaka Kalapa, material clusters, a cluster, no? It should be a cluster, constituted with 9 Rupas, 8 Avinibhoga Rupas and the Saddha Rupa that are produced by the Tejo Dhatu. Utuja Lahutadi Ekadasa Kalapa, material cluster constituted with 11 Rupas, 8 Avinibhoga Rupas, Rupasa Lahuta, Rupasa Mudita and Rupasa Kamanyata that are produced by the Tejo Dhatu. Utuja Saddha Lahutadi Dwadasa Kalapa, material cluster constituted with 12 Rupas, 8 Avinibhoga Rupas, Saddha Rupa, Rupasa Lahuta, Rupasa Mudita and Rupasa Kamanyata that are produced by the Tejo Dhatu. So if you analyze these 4 Kalapas, a brief analysis actually, Utuja Kalapas that are found in animate bodies, out of them all 4 can be found in animate bodies, all 4 types of Rupas. Oja Attamaka that only constitutes 8 Avinibhoga Rupas, Avinibhoga Rupa plus sound while we speak and when our bodies make sounds. So then Lahutadi, not while we are speaking, while we speak, I beg your pardon, while we speak we make Chittaja Kalapas normally. Utuja Kalapas are also possible, subtle Utuja Kalapas, but we don't talk about that much. In the Vachivinyati lesson, I gave that possibility. So explain that possibility. Utuja Lahutadi Ekadasaka Kalapas, Avinibhoga 3 and Lahuta Muduta Kamanyata. Utuja Saddha Lahutadi Dwadasaka, Avinibhoga Saddha and 3. So all 4 are found in animate bodies. Then Utuja Kalapas that are found in inanimate bodies. Out of the Kalapas produced by the 4 causes, out of all the Kalapas, we find only these two in inanimate bodies. These are the only two kalapas according to Theravada. Only two kalapas that are found in inanimate bodies. They are found in animate bodies as well. That's a different case. Animate bodies have all these kalapas. Right? One single body cannot have two bhava rupas. Bhava, that's the only prohibition or impossibility. But other rupa kalapas are found in animate bodies. So, but these two are found only in, it should be said in the other way. Animate bodies have only these two rupas, kalapas. So, out of all the kalapas produced by four causes, only the first two kalapas, Utuja kalapas, Utuja Oja Atta kalapa and Utuja Saddhanava kalapa are found in inanimate bodies. Inanimate bodies constitute with only these two rupas. Utuja kalapas with three lahutadi vikara rupas. Among the four types of aforementioned kalapa, Utuja kalapas together with lahutadi vikara rupas. This part is only found in animate bodies. This is never found in other outside. They are very supportive to the animate bodies, conducive, supportive. They arise under conducive environmental conditions. They are very pleasant and they are very good for the body. Then Utuja kalapas is Saddha Rupa. There are two kalapas with Saddha Rupa. Saddha. So there are two Utuja kalapas sound. Both these kalapas arise in animate bodies. They do arise in animate bodies. Sound produced while beating a drum, when trees rub against each other. On such occasions, Utuja Saddha Navaka kalapas. So in the outside world, we find this only. This is only found in the animate world. Because when lahuta is there, it's always animate, right? It's always animate. So that is the brief analysis of this kalapa. So next day I'm going to discuss on a very important lesson, Utuja Santati, the lineage of these kalapas, which is a very interesting topic. So today I gave an introduction to Utu. It was a very simple lecture actually. Introduction to Utu and what are the Utuja Rupas and what are the Utuja Kalapas. Some basic fundamentals were discussed. I think some would have studied something new and for some it would have been a revision of what you have already studied. And next day we are going to talk about very new stuff and some deep analysis on Utuja Santati. So I conclude the lecture, opening the forum for the Q&A session.
May I ask my question?
Yes, sure.
My question is why supernormal performances are called 𝐤𝐞𝐿 kusala, because I asked this question when I went through, I found commentaries, it was a Paliya. 𝐷𝐴 was appointed as the chief of 𝐤𝐞𝐿. 𝐷𝐴 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐴𝐞𝐬 it is not relevant to this lecture, you can answer later. Why is it called 𝐤𝐞𝐿?
It's a special ability. I just went to the commentary as you were saying, because I also didn't know the answer exactly. Tejo dhatu kusalanade tejo dhatun samapajjitun kusalanang sagatatero aghoti dassiti. So it has been taken as a separate psychic ability. So he is capable of attaining the tejo dhatu. Ayanhi tero tejo dhatu samapattiya ambatitta nagassa tejasa tejang paryaditva tan nagang nibbisevanang akasi. Tasma tejo dhatu nang kusalanang aggonam. So he tamed a serpent in the Ambatitta hermitage, in the village actually, a hermitage in Ambatitta I think. So he tamed a psychic serpent with the help of by attaining into the tejo dhatu samapatti, because he disturbed the naga with his psychic powers, especially producing fire, and also smoke and so forth. So for that he had to attain the tejo dhatu samapatti. So he was given that time, he was given that title, Tejo Dhatu Kusala, yes. So it's a very special special ability. I don't know why the Buddha had separated it as it is as thus, because there's no Apo Dhatu Kusala or Patvi Dhatu Kusala, only Tejo Dhatu Kusala has been mentioned. Don't know whether it has any relationship with Utu or maybe, I don't know, maybe that was one of the prominent psychic powers among the people who have that ability, because maybe it is considered something special among the psychic powers. So the commentary gives he is capable of entering into the Tejo Dhatu Samapatti, and that was treated as a special ability, not under the umbrella term of Iddhivida Jnana and the Samadhis. So attaining the Tejo Dhatu Samapatti must be included. But he was given the title, I think because he, the commentary says, because he tamed a naga, a serpent in Ambatitta, while actually Sagata was a Putujjana by then. In the end he drank alcohol and he had fallen on the road, and Buddha had to ask the other monks to take him to the monastery. Later on he has become an Arahant. Yes, so it has been treated as a separate skill. It's been treated as a separate skill. I don't know the reason for that.
Thank you,
Theravada. Yes.
If I am permitted to add something to what we discussed on our question, isn't the Yamaka Maha Ladha done by the Dhamma Sambuddha or Buddha? It is a combination of both Tejo Dhatu and Apo Dhatu. He is the only person capable of performing that kind of siddhi simultaneously. So isn't that the kind of Tejo Dhatu Kusala and Apo Dhatu Kusala? Probably the Apo Dhatu Kusala is not, we don't have somebody who is agra in that, probably. Anyway, that is not really my question. My question is on the other subject which you explained, which is very, very interesting. You showed the mother Kalapa and the daughter Kalapa, and you mentioned the daughter Kalapa doesn't consist anything coming from the mother Kalapa. So that is good. That is clear, and I understand that. But my point is something that came up in mind was what happens to the Apo Dhatu which was contained in the mother Kalapa. So 𝗘𝗃𝗿𝐵𝐴 is only for the Kalapa, but nothing happens to the Dhatu. This is correct if I take it like that. And probably it may go into the universe and it may or may not become a Kalapa again, probably not be the same entity. It could be an animate entity or an inanimate entity, but still Dhatu gets released. And so then when you take it like that, my problem was category Dhatu is something that never gets withdrawn. It's not subjected to 𝗘𝗃𝗿𝐵𝐴. If I take it like that, I'm okay.
I cannot locate the question because the entire Rūpa Kalapa vanishes, right? The entire Kalapa vanishes. So the mother Kalapa completely vanishes. So what is how it is related again?
No, when the mother Kalapa vanishes, Kalapa consists of Dhatu. Because actually why is there a difference between Dhatu and Kalapa is something which they have been trying to figure out for a long time. But today with your explanation, it was a very good explanation which really helped me to at least get that from the program. But then
No, Dhatu and Kalapa, why are they different? Because Kalapa is made out of Dhatu, according to Theravada.
yes.
So when the Kalapa vanishes, Dhatu vanishes.
That was really the question.
Yeah, that's the fundamental. we can think about something out of the box and suggest something like a field or something, but according to the tradition, if I stick to the fundamentals, it completely vanishes.
Actually, my thinking was based on the mass conservation law from physics.
Yeah, then we have to, that's a big question. Like, according to Theravada, the energy conservation, mass conservation, these things are affected in that regard. Affected means like they are newly arising. Or we have to, in order to explain that, we have to have a certain kind of a dhatu field, like the Higgs field, which we don't talk in Theravada tradition. Yes, then I have to talk, we have to go into that logical explanation and suggest, and there is a dhatu remaining apart from the kalapas, and from that the kalapas are arising, which is a very appealing doctrine, but in order to come to that, we have to add a completely new fundamental into the Theravada and explain. Possible, it is possible, but according to Theravada, strictly speaking Theravada tradition, mass conservation maybe we will be able to maintain to some extent, but energy conservation is arising newly. Things are arising newly and things vanishes completely. So but
Another reason why I am asking the question is when we go to explain rebirth, there again, when someone dies, he will, his continuation of the mind moments or mind state will occur in a place where all these dhatus are present. It cannot happen in a place where something is missing. If the vijnana dhatu is missing, in such a place he will not.
no, they are rising together, no? They are rising like the vijnana is producing Rūpa together, so they are newly arising.
Correct, but then the dhatu has to be present.
Dhatu is the, no, dhatu is the, there is no dhatu apart from the kalapas. There is no dhatu apart from the kalapa, no dhatu apart from the mental cluster. So what we are suggesting is there should be some dhatu apart from the kalapa. So that's why I said we can postulate such a theory, but not based on the Theravada fundamentals. I myself prefer that theory. That's a different case. But when we are talking about the Theravada teachings, there is no such a dhatu apart from the kalapa.
Yes, I fully agree, because actually when you take anicca dukkha anatta, now with that explanation, are we referring only to the kalapas, or are we referring to dhatu?
No, dhatu and kalapa, how could you differentiate? That's the problem. Dhatus, kalapas are the combinations of dhatus, that's all. That's all. There's
The moment you say that, you are talking about two things.
no. Kalapa is a name for the how the dhatus exist. It's like the chair. There's nothing called chair, right?
Yeah.
Chair is the way the Mahabhutas are arranged, right? So in the same way, kalapa is a name given to the combination of dhatus. Only dhatus exist as kalapas.
It's too complicated, and that's the way I look at it.
No, then you have a problem with the Panyati. Then you should be telling there should be a chair other than the four great elements. If you, why not?
Because the chair is made of timber, and then it can be opened out.
So it's made out of particles, right? So the kalapa is made out of dhatu. That's it. So when the four dhatus come together, four dhatus come together, there's nothing other than, because there's nothing called kalapa. There's nothing called kalapa. Kalapa is just a name given for the four great elements existing together.
Yes, with that statement, the kalapa becomes a Panyati.
Yes, kalapa is a name of kalapa is a paññatti. Idea of a kalapa is a paññatti. But dhatus exist in a cluster. So chaya is a paññatti, right? Chaya is a paññatti, but dhatus exist in a certain manner, right? It's different from the manner of the table. So that manner is something that we can see in the ultimate sense. It has some ultimate validity. The manner of how they are constituted, how they are arranged, the figuration, configuration. So in the same way, dhatus in a one kalapa are existing in a certain way. Looking into that, we call it a kalapa. We are naming it like chair.
That's great. So then, probably we can extend the same explanation that we have used for explaining the continuation of the mind change to Rūpa kalapa as well.
Yes, sir.
Mother and daughter combination, of course, the formula may be slightly different because in the case of mind movement, when one gets completely destroyed, then next one arises.
No. That while the mother is there, the daughter arises, according to Theravada.
That is in Rūpa kalapa.
Yes, that is in Rūpa kalapa. Yes.
I was talking about mind movement.
Mind, they vanish and newly arise. Yes.
So that is a difference. But otherwise, there is similarity in both.
Yes, in that sense.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So, I'm very, very happy that I found you because to discuss this kind of thing, I can't find people in this country easily.
Yeah.
So, and thank you very much and much merits to you. And as I always wish, you may live as long as possible to continue your 𝐓𝐴 work and spreading this knowledge to so many other people who will be helped in their samsara journey. Thank you very much and take one.
Awesome, okay. So that's the questions for today. So our next day we are going to talk about tejo utuja santatis. Okay. Wish you all the best and may all of you be able to attain the supreme bliss with this merit, and may this also help you for the prolongation of the Buddha Sasana. Buddha Sasanang Chirantittatu, Buddha Sasanang Chirantittatu, Buddha Sasanang Chirantittatu, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.